Hi, did you miss me? Hey, it's Alicia Renee, but you can call me Renee. Correct. I'm here today because we're gonna have another chilling yap session, except I'm gonna be yapping, y'all can be chilling, but it's gonna be very brief. Not too brief, but we're gonna keep it brief. This is actually going to be an ask me anything style, but it's actually just one question and I'm gonna answer it. And it's really something that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time, and I've voiced it on the blog. But I feel like I can expound on this better on a video format platform. So let's get into it. So I was having a conversation the other day with a friend. Honestly, life has been lifing in a good and bad way. Not a bad way, because I feel like all things are working for my good, but just in a way. And so she asked me this question almost like a month ago, and it took me like a month to get back. And I so sorry for that. But times are busy. Anyways, the question is one that I have received a lot, okay? And it's about how I knew it was time for me to leave my hometown. I feel like this is such a good question, and I honestly could like yap about this for hours and hours and hours, only because I feel like at this point I'm on my second move, right? Because y'all are getting to know me, y'all wouldn't know this, but I was born and raised in Cincinnati, and then I moved to Atlanta after college, and then I've just recently moved to California 2 years ago, and so I'm on my second leap. I'm on my second leap. I feel like I got my bearings and I understand and I know the things now. And so I feel more equipped to answer this question. So I will start by saying, back in I think 2016, I wrote a book called When It's Time to Leap. I'll put the kind of cover image over here. But it was basically a book about how I knew it was time for me to like leave my hometown and leap to the next thing. And there's some 5-star reviews there, so grab your book. But I will hopefully, when time and life allows, be able to like go back and update that with like a 2020s post-COVID version, because right, everything in life has changed and it's new rules out here. So how did I know it was time for me to leave my hometown? And honestly, this was such a good question, and it really hit home for me, because leaving your hometown is not a small feat, okay? Ask the people that still live there. And that's no shade, but just ask the people that still live there. It is no small feat to leave your hometown, leave your bubble, leave your sphere of influence, sphere of knowing, to go somewhere new, start over, and try and live something new. But here's the scary part that's actually not so scary and also truthful. It's not as final as people like make it seem, right? So let's just get into it. Basically, without like outing my friend, but I will just paraphrase what the question was. She was like, how did you know that leaving Cincinnati was the $1 million? Wait, how did you know leaving Cincinnati was the right move? What made you actually do it? And that's the $1 million question. It's the $1 million question. I've been asked this question before. So let me just give you a brief response and then I'll flesh it out. You're not a tree, you can move. And even trees move, okay? People come, uproot a tree, move it, chop it down, get rid of it, stump removal at all. You're not a tree, and even trees move. So that's number one. But for me, I will say it is scary, right? To like pack up your life and move to a new place where you don't know anybody, you don't really know the place that much. How do you know where you should go? How do you know where life, God, and the universe is calling you to? How do you put together a plan, right? Because to me, I feel like the biggest downfall for people who make that type of move and find themselves back at point A or struggling are like people who don't make a plan. Like There is no B, C, or D. It's just like, this what I'm doing and I'm out of here. And a lot of it is also like rooted in emotion. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So let's start at the top. The butterflies, right? Most of the time when you feel like God, the universe, life is calling you somewhere new, you start feeling it. For me, in my instance, I felt it. I felt it real bad. At that time, I was working a job. I was not in my career field. I was not in the field that I got a degree in. And so honestly, I felt like I was not living up to my full potential. So it wasn't that I did not see myself in Cincinnati, but I just did not see me getting to my full potential by way of being in Cincinnati. So that was the first thing that made me feel like, maybe I should go somewhere else. Now, I know the taboo story of how everybody says, like, your new life is not in Atlanta. Some of y'all's, some of y'all's new life is not in Atlanta, but my new life was in Atlanta. And I know that there was a point in time where a lot of us believed just like packing up our lives and moving to Atlanta would solve all of our problems. And while for me, it did not solve all of my problems, it solved most of them. And we'll get into that. But let's talk about that gut feeling. One, I did have that feeling that like I was not going to be able to reach my full potential in Cincinnati, but I also felt like I was outgrowing my space. I felt like the people that I surrounded myself with did not feel indicative of like the growth and the pacing that I wanted to go. I felt like the places that I was visiting, the work that I was doing, all of the things were so monotonous. And as somebody with a creative brain that needs to always be moving, always be doing, always need to be discovering, learning. I have a very childlike imagination, a very childlike spirit and energy. So when that is not being fed, I feel like the things are not working out for me. So that was really important for me to get out of Cincinnati. How did I decipher between is this the right thing for me to do and like I'm nervous? You got to be able to decipher the difference and know yourself and decipher the difference between fear and like self sabotage, right? There were so many things that I did to prepare for my leave so that I knew that the ways that people could sabotage me couldn't get in the way of me leaving, right? So I did not tell any of my friends or my family. I think only maybe like 5 people knew that I was moving. And those were people that I was very, very close to that I knew were going to champion me. When it came to my family and like people that were really close and dependent upon me, I didn't tell them until like 3 or 4 days before I left because I didn't want to answer any questions. I did not want to be interrogated about my personal decision about what I was doing for my life. And so I kept that to myself. And that's something that sometimes you have to do, right? You cannot reach out to people and ask them to help you with a vision that was not placed on them. Hello, somebody. Okay. So if the vision was given to you, you don't go to people who didn't get the same glasses or don't wear the same goggles or don't have the same vision as you and then try to get their encouragement for what you're trying to execute. That's just not how this works. And if that is where you are, I advise you to stop asking everybody and go within. The answers that you are looking for, everything that you seek is within. It's in you already, right? So, gut versus nerves, you'll know. You'll know. You'll know. And also, you need to really like hone in and ask yourself, why are you doing this? Right? I was moving not to run from anything specific, but I knew that I didn't like the place that I was at in life and that I needed something new. Was I running from that? Possibly. Or maybe I was running to something different. Like I needed something refreshed. I needed a new cut, a new color, a new background. You know what I mean? But like I needed something new and I was willing to take and make the effort to go and get it. Same thing along with that. I had a plan. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable for almost a year from changing my diet so that I could save my money, from living a specific way so that I could save my money. I skeletalized my budget. I shared Wi Fi and internet with my neighbor who I lived wall to wall with. Um, I shrunk my bills. I had a prepaid phone and not a phone plan. Any way that I could cut my expenses so I could keep more money to myself and siphon more into my savings. I worked 3 jobs. I would leave my house at like 6 a.m. to go to my full time job. And then from there, I would go to my part time job. And then that part time job, I had a couple days a week, and I had another part time job the other couple days of the week, plus the weekend. Oh, baby, I was down to hustle. You have to want it. You have to be okay with not only being uncomfortable, but also doing things that are temporary, but uncomfortable for a temporary amount of time. And if you're not willing to do that, it's not going to be easy for you. And I'm not here to say that change is easy or that it's supposed to be or that it can't be. Now, unless you come up, now I'll say I don't know that many people who get the opportunity to just, I don't know, have everything done for them and get up and go, but that is different, right? Maybe you have a job offer and the job relocates you. That's how things could go, right? But you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. Um, and also think about the timing of it, right? For me, I was single, I didn't have no kids. What was timing here? Nothing. Yes, I love my family. I love spending time with them. I we'll get into the other things, but you have to put yourself first and everything else has to take a back seat. And if you're not willing to do that, you can just sit in your hometown and watch life pass you by. But you have to get uncomfortable, you have to make changes, and you have to be willing to do things that others are not willing to do to get where you're trying to go. Now, a couple hard truths. And these are things that I experienced. I won't say that everybody will experience. Baby, I experienced. Baby, I experienced. Okay. So when I left Ohio, um, I had lived with a friend before I moved in with my aunt in Atlanta. And even that was a process coming from somebody who had lived alone for a while. And so getting used to like a roommate situation before moving in with my aunt and then moving back in with a roommate, that was uncomfortable for me. But I also was able to learn more about myself in that process. And that has to be something that you're open or willing to do, right? So, one, make sure that you have a nest egg and that you are comfortable with your savings amount when you are making a plan to leave because you don't want to be the goofy out there that as soon as you arrive, you have some sort of emergency, and all of a sudden all your money's gone. My nest egg at the time, and this was 2014, 2015. I left Ohio. I had $10,000 in my savings. No job lined up, but I also did have a certified pharmacy technician or a pharmacy technician certification. I also had a bachelor's degree. I also had a freelance business. Like I had my ducks in a row, and that still didn't stop me from experiencing rainy days because life happens, right? But I also had to remember that I was taking damn good care of myself in Ohio. So I knew I could take care of myself anywhere else that I was going. And that was something to keep in mind, and that was really important. A couple of things that came up for me emotionally and just like mentally. Oh, baby, I was lonely. Um, it was really, I won't say it was hard to make friends, but I think that I was so locked into my hustle that I wasn't prioritizing making friends. And so even if the opportunity came about to make friends, I didn't make any because I wasn't looking for them. People will stop calling. People did stop calling. The support system that I thought I had disappeared overnight. It was like I got to Georgia, they were calling me, asking me questions. Hey, how's it going? What's next? What's next? What's next? Do you have what's next for me? Then stop calling me, stressing me out, asking me what's next. I don't know. I'm figuring it out, right? I'll let you know when I know. But that was stressful. And that's something that people will project on you because they're projecting their insecurities, their fears, and their nuance on you. And then you're taking that on, and then that makes sure it makes it worse for you. And so I pulled back, other people pull back, or people just pull back because they don't know really how to relate to you anymore, right? Do you care about what's going on at home anymore? Do they care about what's going on in your life currently, really? if they can't relate to the things that's going on in your life. So people will, they'll pull back. Y'all may not talk as much. Y'all may not have things in common, but that's okay. It's okay. It forces you to go within. You see the theme here? This is about you. You got to get selfish. This is going to be about you. You have to find your own personal North Star. You have to find your own why. You have to be rooted in your why. You have to be rooted in what is driving me to do this thing, because it's not going to be easy. The next thing, I already mentioned this, but you have to have a money cushion. You have to have a nest egg. If I did not have that $10,000, I can't tell you how long I would have been able to survive, right? But I was comfortable being able to pay my car note, pay insurance. I had the money to start up and transfer my certification to Georgia without having to take any extra classes. I could afford gas to drive myself to interviews. I could afford gas to take myself to my first job. Like, my first job was in the city. I was living outside of the city, like an hour. So I was driving like an hour every day. It was crazy. But again, you have to be able and open to do uncomfortable things to make your way. It does start to feel like isolation, right? Because you're in a new place, you don't know anybody. Um, you can pick up bad habits if that's like going out to drink or party because you're just like, I need to do something, I'm bored. It's a bad habit to pick up, but you can pick that up. Instead of doing that, you can, what I've learned, get a hobby. Meet people that way, right? Back then, we did not have these kind of like cool clubs or whatever, right? There was the girl boss era, because I was in a couple girl boss era groups, and that's kind of how I met a lot of my friends that I currently have, but they were also rooted in entrepreneurship and just getting busy, as I call it, which was really important to me. But if you don't have a solid support system and you don't have a deep rooted understanding of yourself, it can get lonely, it can get dark, you can get depressed. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was depressed a few times. I shed a lot of skin through depression, and I still came out on the other side. Not to say everybody will, not to say everybody won't, not to say it'll be easy, and not to say that it's going to be crazy hard. But again, you have to be understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and what you're willing to take, can't take, and bring forth. And then I'll always bring it back to this. How you take care of yourself currently in your hometown, you can pick that up and do that somewhere else. If you're already driving yourself to work, if you're already taking yourself out to eat, if you're already spending most of your time alone, you could do that in another city. You can. You could be alone somewhere else. At least you're not alone in a place where you're surrounded by people who know you, that don't or are not making the effort to be in community with you, get to know you, spend time with you, call you, all of the things. Pack your shit up and go somewhere else and be lonely. That's what I would do. Hello? You're not a tree. You're not rooted. And guess what? If things don't work out, girl, you're girl, boy, non-binary person, you're not exiled. Leaving your hometown is not exile. You can always go back. Keep a little bit of nest egg in case you need to go back. That is one thing that I will always, always, always stand on. Keep a little nest egg in case you need to go back. And the last part, your mindset. Your mindset is the most important thing. This probably should have been the first thing, but moving isn't about running or escaping anything, right? It's about discovering who you are outside of your bubble of comfort. I have never felt more comfortable in myself, in the understanding of myself, in my ability, in my things than I did when I left Cincinnati and moved to Atlanta, and then again leaving Atlanta to come to California. It's an immeasurable feeling of like, I can conquer the world because I can be anywhere on this planet and know that I can take good care of myself, that I can root myself somewhere, that I can, the same things that you are doing in your hometown, you can do somewhere else. You pay rent, you could pay rent. Find and research yourself in a city that is affordable to you. Make sure that you have your skills lined up. Send out feelers for jobs first before you just up and leave. It's better to have some bites, some prospects of like, hey, I got an interview at this place. Hey, they gave me a call back. I might have a start date. I'd rather have a start date that's in like 2 weeks and I got 2 weeks to pack my stuff and get to someplace than to be like, I didn't put no feelers out there. I just moved there on a whim and then I tried to enter the workforce. But also don't be prideful. If I had to, I would go back and be a waitress any day. I don't care. Even with the job that I have now, I still gonna be a server on the side. I didn't mind being a server also, like, but I also enjoy kind of that interaction, communication with other people. But neither here nor there. But the next thing, moving is going to test you. It's going to test you when people stop calling, when your support system fades. You are going to want to act out. You are going to want to say, people don't support me. People don't care about me. Who cares? Next, you care about you. You support you. Go within. Expand yourself. The money will come. The jobs will come. But the inner work, the self growth, the self discovery, oh my God, so good. Like, even every day when I wake up and I'm like going places in California and I'm just like, I've never been here, 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 here. Everything is new and it feels good because you discover new places, you try new foods, you see new environments. It's new air. I ain't never smelled the air over here before because I ain't never been here before. New. It's new. It's great. And that's also why it feels hard. It's going to be unfamiliar. There are going to be days where you miss the comforts of home, you miss the comfort of familiarity, but you're stretching. You're stretching yourself, you're stretching your mind, you're stretching your body, you're stretching your mindset, you're stretching your capabilities, you're stretching. And life is about being stretched. You want to be further when you leave this earth than in the same spot each year, each revolution. You want to be further than where God started you. That's the whole point of life. And even to add, did I ever see myself only and always being in Cincinnati? Not necessarily. I didn't think that I saw myself anywhere else. I definitely didn't see myself in California, but I'm always down for an adventure. I'm always down for a ride, right? And that's important. Like, you have to be open to life's possibilities because you don't know what life will provide, give, present unless you're open to it. Not closed off, open to it. So if you're getting that gut feeling, that urge, explore it. Even if you don't want to do something permanent, maybe look into a housing swap situation, right? Like, so instead of giving up your apartment, maybe you can look and see if there's somebody in another state or another city that you can swap residences with for a couple months just to feel it out, right? You can go on sabbatical from work. Um, I call it a mental health leave. You can go on sabbatical from work, go somewhere else for a little bit, Airbnb, however, get a little part time job, discover and explore. There are ways to still get out if you're still afraid to do the full leap. There's still something there. But that's all I got for you today. So, if you have any questions or if you got any comments, if you yourself have done a leap and you have suggestions and just comments to encourage others who may be feeling it, drop down in the comments and let them know. Like, let them know how many times you've moved. Let them know how many times you started over. Let them know if it was a good thing or bad thing, if you had to go back, if you have left and you came back. What is that like for you now? Are you happy that you left? Was it a learning opportunity to let you know that, yeah, maybe I do actually love home. Home is where I want to be forever. And if that's you, more power to you, baby. But as for me, that's all I got. Catch y'all on the next one. Bye.